Time now for Jody Jackson. And as always, Jody has the gems all around baseball, football, pulse on the market. It's brought to you by Shamrock Farms. We appreciate Shamrock Farms and Rockin' Protein for their support. We have to start with broadcast news. Jody Jackson is the face and voice this week of Brophy Prep against Basha in the high school game of the week over on CW7. So what are you doing here?
Well, we have a great executive producer on that package of shows, games, right? So, well, I appreciate that, Brad. I mean, I would say not the face, definitely going to be the play-by-play voice, but your team that you've assembled is incredible in the way that they've covered high school football for years now. I'm excited to be able to jump into that. So thank you for that.
How much play-by-play have you done?
Not a whole lot. Well, really, you've given me a lot of opportunities, and then you've linked me to people who have given me some opportunities. So I go back way back. I think it was 2018. You remember this? You probably do. Mm-hmm. You were working with Chandler and streaming some of their district's games. And I rolled up in Chandler High School, went up to the press box with my cardboard, my poster board, and gave that a shot. I think technically speaking, the first quarter was a little, I remember texting my family, like, can you hear me? What's going on? Because at that time, again, it was very, very raw. It was just me, no color analyst, which is great for first time, right? You just want to kind of dive in and see how you're doing. So, I remember that. But yeah, beyond that, just a little bit last year with Red Mountain. I'm trying to think of what, really that's the stuff that I look back on when I'm looking at it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the opportunity, a great matchup. Like you said, Brophy Basha, it's one of the bigger games in the country. I was watching some college football on ESPN. And of course, I watched the Dublin game. That was a really pretty good game after a slow first half with the weather and all that. And they had some high school football coming on ESPN. And I'm looking at Mater Dei and a school that I went to for 1 year, St. Thomas Aquinas. And these are great matchups. But Brophy, Basha, this is a terrific matchup. One of the best in Arizona, but I think something that also is going to have a lot of national eyes as well. So.
The idea of high school football play-by-play, you're a former high school mom of a quarterback. So your lens is one that I've always looked at, and you are very humble in what you do, and you go about your business the right way. I've always admired that about you. This is a mutual admiration society, by the way. It's just a fact. Does it help that you're a former high school mom, quarterback mom, of what the kids go through, and that high school used to be viewed as that's way beneath me. I'm a pro. I could never do high school. And then you get in the space. It's like, well, why not? It's no different than the NFL, except the press box. You have a nice parking spot. It's enclosed. Yes, there's 60, 70,000 people. Why not different than college? Do you find high school the same, Jody, or is it like, yeah, it's just fun?
I find it all the same. It's all worthy of being your absolute best. And I say that because, there's a lot to unpack in what you said. First of all, anytime we're broadcasting, I think about, and I've had the joy of, traveling with these teams and, going back to whether it's football or the last, 15 years with baseball, and you meet the family members, the friends, your obligation is to tell the stories of these players, whether they're 12U baseball, little league, whatever it is, or at the pro level. And you want to get it right. You want to get their stories right, like their names right. You want to have everything right if you're a professional. So I think that's at any level, just like I tell my students at Arizona State. And I know, like you're a mentor to so many. You're not only an employer to so many, but a mentor to a lot of people that hit you up for advice. And I know you say the same thing. You want to have your ducks in a row. You want to have your plan. You want to prep, and you want to give all of these kids or adults, whoever they are, their due. They've come this far in their journey, and same with high school kids. And I think the funny thing about being the high school mom is that it's given me great perspective even with my pro athletes, because they're humans, they're working. I mean, because a lot of our mentality is, especially in the pro product, is, well, they're getting paid all this money, they should do whatever. They're human. They all work like, at their craft the way we work at our craft, and it's really hard to hit a baseball or whatever it is. And yes, they're pros, and yes, they make money, so they should be way better at it than anyone else. That's true. But it's given me just that perspective. And yeah, I kind of know, as you know, the high school scene is really layered and unique, and there's a lot of people that follow it. So I'm not going to pretend that I'm as dialed in as, let's say, Cody Cameron, which he's very dialed in. Jordan Ham, Jordan Spurgeon, Claudia Collins. I can go on and on with your group. Eliav. I mean, everybody. So I'm not quite as dialed in on some of the things in the entire landscape, but of course I'm going to be dialed in on those teams that week, whoever we're covering. And I do think that it helps me get that perspective of just, what it takes, what it means, how you encourage the kids, how the coaches, I think the coaches are a huge part of that too. And I've been around that, with my husband coaching ball through the years, mostly at the younger levels, but it's just really cool to see. I think it's a great, I go back to the old, you remember, Brad, we did back on Fox Sports Arizona, that was really cool. Like, we did a package, I want to say it was '09 to 2011 or so. I guess it felt longer than it was. It might have only been 3 years. And it was so gratifying. I mean, Jason Jewell and I actually he was kind of my analyst at halftime. Of course, he's been the head coach at Brophy now for a few years. And it was something I enjoyed just as much as anything I've done. And so I'm so excited that you're bringing that back, and grateful. I think everyone in the community is grateful for it. So we certainly appreciate all the work that you've put in.
No, that's nice of you to say. I think it's just, you find people that are really good at what they do, and in your space, you are just absolutely ready for this. Do you have butterflies, or do you have like, I'm going to be talking about Fitz's kid, I must be.
All of it. Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm going to be a little nervous for sure, because you always want to be, I still am a little nervous for a lot of things that I do. I think that's totally normal.
You should be. If you're not, Jody, it's
Yeah.
awesome you say that, because I've sat and when I've taught, it's like, look, if you don't have butterflies in your stomach, get out. If this is
Yeah.
exciting for you, it's just like, oh, we're at another game. I don't know. Go look at the guy roofing houses today when it's 116 degrees and tell me that you're working. It's just not that hard. And the fact that you're so open about, yeah, you're excited, you're nervous.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
It's
cool.
normal to be nervous. And I think that's going to be that's going to be a great feeling. I love that. Like, when we're set to kick it off and ready to go. And then, like anything, you get into the groove of doing the job, and then all of that kind of fades away, at least for most people. But yeah, I'm so excited for it. And for me, look, and I think the big reason why, even I'm in that role is like, okay, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is, even the best of the best. I was watching some of the best over the weekend, and, it's still like, you're calling live game action. You're reacting, and that's what's the beauty of it. And you see that in the biggest games, the biggest stages in the world. Just little things, obviously, hopefully the big things all go really well and really smooth, but, you're calling live game action. So you're calling it as you see it. Cody's unbelievable. He and I went out. I know I think, we went out to the 4-way scrimmage out at Corona, with some great teams. It was Red Mountain. It was Centennial, Corona, and gosh, I'm blanking on the fourth team, but it was Highland, yeah. And so really good quality. And Cody, it was like really totally breaking down every formation, scheme, play. I mean, and he was just awesome. I think so. The fans, if you haven't heard Cody, and I know he called the state, championships last year, so that, is well deserved. And so most people maybe have heard him, but if you haven't yet, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of new eyeballs, I think it's really going to be exciting to open a lot of eyes to his talent.
I think one other part of it too is, and just pulling the curtain back a little bit, and then we'll get into the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals and things going on around town, is growing up in the high school space as a high school dad, it's not all about the game on the field. It is and it isn't. There's going to be a balance on this broadcast where I say things like, there's going to be train wrecks and it's okay. We're going to try things.
Mm.
I ran into Eric Moses from the Fiesta Bowl, and he was part of the XFL production team. He saw me. He's like, "That's so great. You're going to try things." Like, well, we'll see. You know, there's some things that look good in the moment. If the robotics team is out there doing what they do, please focus on them. We're going to show the band at halftime for just 30 seconds, maybe more, because those kids deserve it.
Exactly.
We're going to put some highlights in of other games like Red Zone. I mean, it's just, and things may go off the rails. If there's a play-by-play kid sitting in the booth next door, they have full autonomy. Jody and Cody or whoever's doing the games that week, put them on. Did you see the game yesterday? The kid doing the A's, the kid caster doing the A's Mariners game. He's chosen by the Mariners. His first pitch, the guy hits it out of the park for the A's, and it
Really? I didn't see that.
was just great. The kid's like,
That's awesome.
oh no, and then and you're just this layout of pause, and so yeah, we're gonna try things. It's not gonna be the same old stuff, and there's gonna be some stuff people like and some stuff people don't like. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be Jody and Cody Cameron and Jordan Spurgeon hosting, and Lexi down on the sidelines in game one over on CW7. And that will be this Thursday night. Jody Jackson with us, brought to you by Shamrock Farms and Rockin' Protein.